welcome to the Slay to Success Talk Show. This is your Slay Queen, Rochelle Hemingway, your host. I am the CEO and founder of Slay to Success, which is a leadership and transformational consultant service business. I empower women with strategies to step into their most authentic personal brand to gain lucrative opportunities. As you all know, tonight's purpose, all right, this talk show is all about highlighting men and women who are living out loud these philosophies that we call slay, okay, those slay philosophies, and they're doing it on their own terms and making a positive impact in this world today. And you know what the word slay means, right? Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym. S stands for stay ready to be ready. L stands for lead out loud. A sense of family, a sense of community. And Y, you are built to last. So welcome into tonight's show. I have an amazing, as we know, slay-mazing. I have a slay-mazing guest tonight, y'all. And I just want you to buckle up, get ready, prepared. Thank you all for being here tonight. If you are here, let us know. Yes, Dr. Rhonda Beckwith, who was my guest last week, is here. Hello, Slay Queen and guest. I'm looking forward to another great show. Yes, and we are going to have a great show because we have an amazing guest, as I said. So thank you so much for being here with us again tonight. And if anyone else comes in, make sure, y'all, you give us your name, where you're tuning in from. Just want to give you the shout out because you could be anywhere. You did not have to stop through here and to listen through this conversation that we're going to have tonight, but you are deciding to do that, and I am so grateful that you are spending your time with us tonight. So, as we know, we got a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, just a little bit of housekeeping. So first, we have our Elevate Your Presence Next Level seminar. Listen, if you are someone who is looking to elevate your brand, your personal brand, i.e. in the topics in the areas of appearance, behaviors, communication, and digital presence, and you're not quite sure how to best do that, especially if you're a woman who is in an executive leadership role or a woman who is transitioning from a long career, you don't want to miss out on this webinar. It is on Tuesday night, this Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time virtually, so you can be on Zoom. So please, if you have not attended, this is the opportunity, all right? If you want to elevate your presence, if you want to increase your visibility, maybe even elevate your confidence, we will make sure that we get that all cleared out in that webinar. So let me take that off of there. There we go. Now, the next, we have our sponsorship program, y'all. So if you want me to market your products, programs, or services on this show, I have several different levels of our sponsorship program. You can just find me at, again, www.slaytosuccess.com. It's not hard to find me. Y'all can just DM if you like, and I will make sure that you get your products out there. If you've got books, if you've got programs, if you've got a business, if you've got something that you want more eyeballs on, I have about 5,000 individuals between all these platforms that tune in regularly. So they would be those people that you want to put in front. If you want to put your products in front of them, come see about me. All right. And lastly, okay, I just started my Rise and Slay morning talk show every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is where I get you pumped up. All right, and kickstart your week. And I just share a topic of motivation, inspiration, and then you go out there and you do the dang thing. Okay, that's what we doing. All right, so if you are available, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday morning. So I will see you next Tuesday. So let me see who we got going on here. So those are today's announcements. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so Dr. Beckwith says, you always bring in and have the most awesome guest who leaves us with a ton of information. Yes. And that is the goal of these shows, is to really add value and give you all something that you can take away from. So thank you so much for sharing that. You're streaming in for Upper Marlboro, Maryland, which is just up the road, y'all, from me. So about maybe 30 minutes. So thank you so much. And of course, the Madame is here. Leslie George is in the building. Thank you so much for being here and stopping into tonight's show. So y'all, let me just share with you a little bit about our guest. All right. And our guest is so amazing. Okay. Her name is Marla Albertie, and she's lived on board a United States carrier, and she feels she is unstoppable. She is a native from Jacksonville, Florida. She loves to read, travel, and shop. Many of her travels have been on cruises, as she has taken 16 cruises so far. Look, I need that life right now. She believes life is a journey and we can all create the life we want. So why not? We only live this life once. She has a passion to see growth in people's lives and wants others to pay it forward. As an energetic visionary, she is the owner and founder of the TruthSpeaksGroup LLC, a multimedia company that creates strategies and solutions for work-life integration, harmony. She is also the founder of I want to say it's industrial organization. She's going to correct me when she comes back. For Teens Incorporation. And this is a skill, confidence, and career building organization teaching teens how to achieve their dreams based on a science of human behavior. She also has MJA Notary Services, MJA Publishing, and JEMA Holdings. So there is a whole lot of information. All right. There is a lot. She has got so much breath. And so there is so much information in her bio. But what I would like for us to do is to have her to come on in, and we're going to share most of the other information here throughout the show. So that way I don't get it wrong. Okay. Because I have a tendency sometimes to be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And it's really not. And I do not want to be messing it up. So okay, yep, Natalie's here in the building. Thank you so much for being here, Natalie. And Tiffany, thank you so much. Hello, 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 Queens. So let's put our hands together, y'all, for my amazing guest, Marla.
Hello, Miss Michelle. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be here. Yes.
Yes. Okay, y'all. So we have been trying to get together for a minute. If you've seen, her picture has been on the newsletter. It's been on LinkedIn and Facebook, and then we got our dates mixed around and all kinds of stuff. And so tonight I was like, you know what? We gonna have this conversation. Y'all, I just got off the road from a 5.5 hour road trip by myself from North Carolina. And I was like, this is happening tonight. So welcome.
Yes.
Welcome, Marla, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. When we met we met y'all at a it was a mentorship program that we had, breaking barriers, Bunker Labs.
Yeah.
And when we met, we started talking. We had another conversation offline. I was like, hey, you need to be on the talk show. Okay. Because you have a lot of just experience and expertise that I would love for you to share with our audience. So first of all, let's just start from the top, so I put my hand on my head from the top. Okay. What has your life been like, and kind of where did you start? So let's talk a little bit let's talk from the journey from being a Navy. You were in the Navy for a while. So let's talk from there until where you're at today.
Okay. Well, Rochelle, how long do we have? We have about 4, 5, 6, 7 days to talk about that.
I mean, I don't think our audience would be like, we ain't gonna be here for 5 or 6 days now.
Right. Okay. No. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, queens that are out there listening. Thank you so much. Yes. So where to begin? So I started my humble life here in Jacksonville, Florida. I am a Duvalian. I'm proud of my city. Yes, I am a Jaguar fan. Do not hate. We are coming back.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know anything. So anybody else knows?
Those football fans, they know. But yeah, born and raised right here in Jacksonville, Florida. And after high school, I didn't plan on going into the military. I just came home one of these days and just said to mom and dad, I'm going to the Navy. They're like, what? They're like, you're not going to college? Like, no, I'm going to the Navy. So that's what I did. And I did almost 4 years, did 3.5 years in the military. Got pregnant with my son, who's now the ripe small age of 26. So I'm a grandma. I'm a new grandma. I have a beautiful daughter-in-law. So I'm a grandma now. And that's a whole different story that we could write a whole book on that one. But, got in the Navy. So in the Navy, that's where I started my leadership journey. I was what we call now they combine the rates. A lot has changed. That's been it's been a long time ago, over 20 years. So, but they combined the rating. So back then I was what we call a ship serviceman. So we ran the barbershop, we ran the vending machines, we ran laundry and dry cleaning, and we also had stores on board the ship. I was stationed on board the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, CVN 69, which, believe it or not, is still rolling. I don't understand why, because it was old when I was on it. So I don't understand why the ship is still still just rolling along. It needs to be decommissioned. No. Anyway, it was old then, and folks on the Ike will know. But I was a supervisor over we had 2 stores. We had the Ike Mall, which was considered like a big store, and we had like a convenience store. So I was a ship supervisor over the convenience store, and that's where I got my leadership at. So here I am, 19 years old, learning how to lead people. I didn't know how to do that. So that's where it all started. And so from there, of course, I got out, like I said, I had my son and got married, and, life happened. But through all of that time, I said, okay, I've always been infatuated with academia. So I went to school, got my associate's degree, started with that, came back here to Jacksonville, of course. I came back home because my mom at the time was sick, and she was dealing with a debilitating disease called ALS. So we went through that, and she's no longer with us, but had to go through that. So that's why I was happy that I was able to get back home before that time passed where she demised. But I enrolled in school, got back in school, and got my AS degree and my bachelor's degree from Florida State College, Jacksonville. Well, back then it was called FCCJ. Now it's FSCJ. Then moved on and got my master's degree from Strayer University. So my master's degree is in adult education. And just finished my PhD. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to brag.
And you should. Because you know what? Once you put the PhD on, just like Dr. Beckwith was with us last week, all the doctors are going to show up. And then we're going to be like, doctor, excuse me, doctor.
That's
doctor.
right.
So congratulations, my queen, on that huge success.
Thank you. Thank you.
I remember you were telling me that you were getting through that. And then when I saw it this morning, or just when you popped in, I was like,
Yes. I defended on February 1st. And this has been a long journey. So I started this journey, and those who've been down this road know I started this journey December 29th, 2016. I was just fresh off a divorce, in the process of moving. Thank you, Natalie. The process of moving. A lot was going on. I mean, it was my second divorce. I literally start life over again. So it was just a lot. Thank you, Miss Leslie. It was a lot. But here I am, 7.5 years later. I defended. I'm done. I actually walk in May. So I walk May 18th in San Diego. And you know what, Rochelle? I'm still taking it in. I'm still on cloud 9. I'm still adjusting to actually have just having that moment to myself to say, I'm done, I'm finished. Because I've been through a lot. I've been hospitalized. I've been hurt. I've had to transition jobs a couple times. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. And sometimes you gotta sit back and be like, hindsight, like, okay, if you can get through this, you can get through anything.
Yeah. I mean, you've got big ups all in the comments,
Thank you so much. Thank you, Queen.
All of them are saying, and Dr. Beckwith says it doesn't matter when and where you start, you did it and you made it happen. You know what I mean?
Made it happen.
It did. And then Tiffany says, congratulations, doctor. Proud of you for not giving up after being at it for so long. Because people do.
Yeah.
They would just be like, you know what, I'm
Yes.
over it. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Many times I wanted to say that. Many times I wanted to give up. But I thought about the young, not just only young girls, but young African American girls who would
Yes.
see me do that. Not only are we in the 1%, but it's even a smaller percent of Black African American female PhDs. So
Yeah.
I had to not only set that example for them, but say, hey, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I was not an AB student in school. I was an ABC student in high school,
Yeah.
and I just continued to push myself through. I'm not going to sit here and say it was easy. I struggled. Oh, statistics. That's another talk show, Rochelle.
Yeah.
Some of those classes. But again, I pushed through. I never, ever, ever gave. I wanted to give up. Trust me.
Yeah.
I wanted to give up, but I did not. Because I knew. And I kept, things I did was I created my email that said doctor in it. I got doctor all over my office here. I have, I kept reminding myself, okay, this belongs to you. You deserve this too, just like anybody else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, tell you what,
so
you have probably inspired so many people to actually start the PhD. I understand the journey. My husband, he, got his doctor's degree. It took him 5 years to get that done. And it was, every paper, every night up, every, like just it, and he was working. He was still active duty.
Yeah.
And so it was like there's
Right.
a whole lot that goes into it. So I say, you know what, you can brag as many times out loud, please. I mean, because you are. It's a great story. You're an inspiration. I mean, everybody is like saying,
Me too, Natalie. Me too, Natalie. YouTube was my friend. Okay.
Right. You know what I mean? YouTube University.
YouTube University. Thank you, YouTube founders. Thank you. That's where I was at.
Oh Lord. Okay, so you got your PhD, right? So even before that though, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other different pieces to you that I'm just like the bio. If y'all haven't read the bio, please take a moment to read the bio. It is like, for me, mind-blowing. So just tell me a little bit more about all these different entities of Marla.
Yes. So, and in between all of that, so in between, losing my mother, being the caretaker for my dad, getting married, divorced, getting married again, divorced, dealing with my son, all of that, I started businesses. So my main business is TruthSpeaksGroup. It started out as I did my internship for my associate's degree in HR, and they put me in a recruiting type area. So in the recruiting area. So that's where I learned about recruiting. I said, oh, this is interesting. So I started looking at resumes and helping folks with their resumes and stuff. And so at the time, my husband's like, he's like, you need to, he's like, you might want to do something with this. So I started looking at people's resumes for free. And so lo and behold, that's how my business started, was basically doing resumes for free. Then I kind of weaned away from the resumes, and because people started asking me questions, like, how did you do this and how do you do that? So I'm like, okay, so now let me look into coaching. This is where coaching was getting big, right? It was starting to grow more. I said, okay, let me look into this. So I'm very curious. I'm the type, I feed off of knowledge. That's just me. I feed off of knowledge. I feed off of wisdom. I feed off of reading. I struggle with reading fiction books because I'm constantly into nonfiction all the time. But I'm getting better at fiction. I used to read a whole bunch of fiction books. I just love to understand stuff. So I said, okay, let me dig and understand the science and philosophy behind, and psychology behind coaching. So I went and got my coaching certification. So I'm a certified life coach, career coach, business coach, executive coach, all the coaches. I'm certified in all of them. And then, of course, because I'm a learning maniac and can't stop. I said, okay, let's go ahead and get a bachelor's degree. So my associate's degree is in financial management, right? Go figure. And then my bachelor's degree is in supervision and management. So I said, because I knew I've always had that leadership ability. Like I said, I started leading in the military. When I got out of the military, I had a couple of jobs here and there. And I had now through all of this stuff, now through all me creating businesses and stuff, I'm still working a 9 to 5.
Wow.
I was at what used to be called Washington Mutual. If those who remember back in the day,
Yes.
Washington Mutual. Then we were, no, I'm sorry, it was Homeside Lending, then Washington Mutual, then Chase, right? So I was at Chase for a good 12 years before I got laid off there. So, and I was again in school, going through divorces, raising my son. All of this was still going on. I look back and say, damn, girl, how'd you do all that? But yeah, all this was still going on. Yeah, yes, Tina. Wow.
Yeah.
Going on, running businesses, and my businesses, it was crazy because I got majority of my clientele was word of mouth. Really, majority of the clients that I coached, my main audience was the working woman, 9 to 5 working woman, and I wanted to coach them on. So to me, Michelle, you're your own client, right? So I'm my own client.
That's
so
right.
I was coaching them on the things that I was dealing with, you know, transitioning, work-life. I don't like to say balance. We always say work-life balance. There's no such thing as balance. Right. It's either work-life harmony and or integration. So I'm trying to help them integrate all these areas of their life because we define ourselves so much by our titles, you know, and those titles are mom, wife, worker, aunt, you know, sister, cousin, whatever. But let's not forget, we are still human beings and we don't get a chance to be. And so that's something I can constantly tell myself all the time. So I'm helping women do the same thing, right? So that's where that work-life harmony comes into play. And that work-life harmony, everything starts in the mind. You know, I love to quote Mindset by Carol Beckwith, Dr. Beckwith. You know, I love to quote that because everything is fixed on how we think about ourselves. And these are journeys that I'm still on. So I whenever I'm coaching someone, I tell them I'm still on the journey too. I have not completed it. I don't think I'll ever stop rediscovering and relearning myself. I'm in a rediscovery phase right now as I speak to you. Yeah. And so through that, went on, got my master's degree in adult education from Strayer University. After that, again, still going through divorces, still going through all of that, dealing with PTSD from the military. I recently, but within the past 5 years, came out with the fact that I had PTSD via MST, which is military sexual trauma. Those who don't know that, and still dealing with that to this day, and dealing with the coping mechanisms that I had to deal with, understanding who I was. And one of those coping mechanisms is and still is keeping busy, staying busy. So I could bury whatever pain I had. So I said, let me just stay busy. Let me just keep my calendar full. And now here I am at the ripe, tender age, young age of 46. I'll be 47 in July, still saying, okay, you know what? I don't have to do that. I can slow down some. I have to slow down some. Even though it doesn't seem like I am, I really am slowing down. I am, you know, and I've always had a passion for writing. So in between all of that, ladies, yes, I was still writing. I published my first book, which I don't have it in front of me right now, but it's 52 Career Tips, Action Steps to Move You Forward. I published that book in 2017. 2017. I published that book, and it's still out there on Amazon. Then in my years are confused. This is 2024. So 2020, beginning of 2022. January 2022, I republished my latest book here, The Ultimate Brag Book About Yourself, 100 Questions About How Awesome You Are. I republished this one. And this one has been a huge success. I published it the first time in 2019 and then republished it in 2022. And it's just basically it's just that, bragging on yourself. So this book right here, Rochelle, was born because when I would coach so many ladies, they would, one of the first things I say when I have my clients, I have them write down a list of 10 things that if you had no obstacles, obstacle could be your children, your husband, your spouse, whatever. Could be whatever, money, whatever. No obstacles. What would you do? And my clients would come back and say to me, I don't know what I would do. And that was shocking to me that no one could come up with those answers. And so that's how this book was born. We need to start bragging on ourselves. We need to start saying,
First of all,
I know. I can keep going. You gotta stop me, Rochelle. You gotta stop me because I keep going.
Oh gosh, there was so much in the past few minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, that is bringing up these things. First of all, when you say that, we do things to keep ourselves busy based on our life experience, trauma, or something that significantly rocked our world, and then I'm just like, you know what? That's probably me. You know what I mean? Just always.
It's a lot of women.
We constantly do things because there's so much of the stuff that we just want to push out or push down that we don't want to actually deal with. So that's one significant ha-ha moment. All right. For many of us, and especially here at tonight's show. Your first book is called 52
Career Tips, Action Steps to Move You Forward.
Okay, so Natalie asked about that one. So Natalie, if you heard that one, 52 Career Tips,
Action Steps to Move You Forward.
Action Steps to Move You Forward. So just go on to Amazon and get that one.
That's a journal, career journal. Both of them are journals. They're both career journals.
Yeah, and then the brag thing. Now, I'm a part of a group called Mosaic Inc., and it's a clubhouse. We get together every morning. Leslie George is the founder. She talks about the brag. She has an acronym. And so when you pushed up that book, I mean, it is like, she says, first of all, let's take it from where she says. She says, when you were talking about balancing time, because she talks about the integration as well, right? She says, yes, for the brag. All right. Because she is big into that. And Tina says, you've been doing the doggone thing.
Thank you, Tina.
And Leslie says, she is my twin.
We all have twins, triplets, quadruplets.
We do.
We do.
And, Dr. Beckwith said, we need to brag on ourselves.
Yes.
And Tina says, Leslie George, I knew you would love the brag. All right. Because they're part of it. But we do. And you know what? And it's sad that we humble ourselves so much because telling people, oh, well, it wasn't us. All these folks over here helped me to do it, giving all the credit to them.
Right.
And you think about all the things that we do on a daily basis and not to share.
Yeah,
I'm with you. We got to do a better job at that. So
we do. And it's what's crazy about it is, and I want to comment on that, Rochelle. There's nothing wrong with thinking, because you can't do anything by yourself, right? Like Beyonce does not put out what she put out by herself, right? No one does things by themselves. So we do give credit, right? But sometimes in the midst of giving that credit, you forget to credit yourself. Hello, I'm here. Credit yourself. You're in the midst of that too. But I have never had a time where I did not acknowledge the people in my life, my friends, my family. I have the best friend circle on the planet.
That's awesome.
I do. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. They are the folks who, when I come up with these big, hairy, audacious, crazy ideas, such as starting a business. I have had a women's conference called Imagine. I'm Awesome, Growing in Excellence. I did that for 3 years. Yes, that's in the midst of all this, ladies. I did that for 3 years. And the whole purpose of Imagine was I wanted to create a platform for women to speak, because we don't speak enough. It wasn't about me. It was not about, the conference was not about me at all. It was about me creating a platform. So I was able to have 10 to 11 women speak at the 3 conferences that I held. The first conference was held 2 days after I divorced my husband. So,
wow.
So I when I do something, I do something. And then when I moved, I started a YouTube talk show called Creating Your Career. And I interviewed 36 awesome individuals. I interview a different person each month. So for 3 years, and that's out there on my YouTube channel. So please go out there, join my YouTube. It's TruthSpeaksGroup, or just type in my name. There's only one Marla J Albertie out there. So I have dipped my toes in a lot of stuff. And, I'll tell you this story, back in 2018, long story short, I had, Black women, we suffer from fibroids and stuff like that. So I had constant bleeding going on. So I had to get on medication and whatnot. Well, that medication led to me having a DVT, which is a deep vein thrombosis, which turned into a clot, which turned into PE, pulmonary embolism. So I was hospitalized in 2018 and almost died and didn't even realize it till the doctor came in and said, and this is how calm the doctor was. He says, yeah, Miss Albertie, you have clots all over your chest. We're going to go ahead and admit you. And walked out the room. I looked at him like, excuse me? What happened? What you say? They are trained to be calm. They are trained to be calm. So I get it.
Yeah.
It was a wake-up call. I'm like, wow. So it wasn't until during that time, and thankfully, I took the medication. I'm good. The clots are gone. But it was during that time I said, okay, if I have to sit back and look at my life, I have to sit back and say, okay, you know what? I just published a story. I just did my first co-author adventure. I did a part of the big business book volume 3. I just published my story in there called The Certified Learner. And I'm just like, you know what, Marla, you can say job well done, but God's not done with you. The universe is not done with you. So I had to get myself together and think about my life, because you don't think about death, right? You may think about it, but you don't think about it, right? And so when that happened in my life, I'm like, okay, I know I still have a lot more to do.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And I still had things going on, life going on. I was working at Wounded Warrior Project because I'm a veteran, obviously. So I had to go support veterans. And my background is training and development. So I was doing training and development for Wounded Warrior Project. Because when I left JP Morgan Chase, I was a AVP, assistant vice president in one of their it was a consumer loan department. So we were doing trainings and PowerPoints and stuff like that. So, but you have these wake up calls, and sometimes you need a few of them.
Yeah.
Michelle, sometimes you need a few of them to really, and it's sad, but women, we have this issue. I'm not saying men don't, but from my experience with coaching them, women, we have this issue where we owe the world and we have to do so much. And I'm going to tell you this powerful statement that when I first went through therapy, when I got my second divorce, my therapist said to me, and I repeat it all the time. He says, so, your cape has holes in it and you need to take it off. And I said, I literally sat there on that couch. Said,
wow.
Okay, you just went off on me without even going off. Listen.
Right. He knew what he needed to say.
And he said to me, not everyone needs to be saved. Not everyone wants to be saved. And if they do want to say, that doesn't mean they want to be saved by you. So take the cape off. It has holes in it. You don't have to save the world.
Woo!
We're gonna let that
one sit. What? Look, you done freed up some folks here, including myself. Tiffany says the power of that statement, and Tina said, my, and
yes.
Wow, your cape has holes and you need to take it off.
Yeah,
that part. Powerful.
Yeah.
And
it still sits with me.
Your cape.
It still sits with me to this day. I'm just like, and he's right. He was so right.
He is so right. We do so much. We do a lot of things, and we think to ourselves that we need to be present in all areas of our life at 100%.
Always on.
And it always on. And then if you make a mistake, it's like, oh, well, I apologize. I'm sorry. We go into these guilt.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's stop saying that one.
Girl, you are Leslie's twin, okay? Because we just talked about that the other night.
Hey, Leslie. Yes.
Talk about saying I'm sorry to stuff that, we don't even know what we're sorry about. We just saying it.
Just saying it. Just saying. I don't hear men say that a lot.
No. No.
Nope.
What are we doing? Oh, Leslie says she just wrote a blog on sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I honed in on my writing. I started writing on medium.com. I haven't wrote on there in a while, but I started writing on Medium just to kind of release because I love writing. It's always been a release for me.
Yeah.
And so that's what made me start my own publishing company. So MJA Publishing is my publishing company. I don't publish for anyone else. I'm going to start publishing books on that one. It's brand new. I just started that one in 2023. So I'm just published my own books on there. And then I did have, so to talk about a few things from the bio, I did have MJA Notary and JEMA Holdings. So MJA Notary was just that notary company, but I did shut that down. I did recently close that. I'm still a notary though. I still do notary jobs. So people's notary companies still reach out to me, but I just felt like I can just integrate, again, me trying to narrow things down, right? So I can just integrate that into TruthSpeaksGroup because I'm already a notary. So that shut down. And JEMA Holdings was supposed to be like a holding company for real estate investing, but you know what? Timing is everything, Michelle. And that's something we have to remind ourselves. I can't put everything on me, right? So I got this holding company, this shell that I'm paying for every year. I'm not doing anything with it. Let it go. So I let that one go. So my three main businesses are TruthSpeaksGroup, which is, like I said, I'm focusing on writing, education, and publishing research on that one. Then I have MJA Publishing, which is my publishing company. And then, of course, in the midst of all of this, I come up with a big, hairy, audacious goal to start IO Psychology. IO for Teens. And so let me give you that backstory, Michelle.
Yes, please.
So I knew I always wanted to, even through my treacherous divorces and stuff, I knew I wanted to go to college. I will get my PhD. I knew I wanted to do that. And I did the research between EDD and PhD. And I said, I want to do a PhD because I want to research. I want to continue to research. Not saying EDD don't research, but that's what the PhD does. It's a philosophy degree, right? So I knew I wanted to do that. And I also knew that I wanted to do my research on the behavior in the workplace, how people are treated in the workplace. Here's the thing, Michelle, I never knew there was a science for it. So let me tell you what I did. It's a true story. I went to Google because I'm a Googler, right? Went to Google and I typed in Google research, development, training, coaching, life coaching. I typed in about 30,000 words into Google and it spit out IO Psychology. I never heard of IO Psychology, didn't know what it was. And that's when I started digging. So this is what I encourage people to do. Know what you want and go out there and find it. Don't let it find you. I knew I wanted to do research on the science of behavior. I just didn't know there was a title for it. I didn't know that there was a title of IO Psychology, which is the study of human behavior in the workplace. I didn't know that's what it was. Yeah. Right? But I knew I wanted to study that. This is what I encourage people to do. Figure out what you want to do, and then you go find. A lot of people, we go to Indeed and look for stuff that's interesting to us. No. Know what you want to do, and then go look for that. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so I found that, and so I started searching out schools and landed with North Central University. And they've recently been acquired. Well, National University, they've merged, and these colleges merge all the time.
Yeah, they do.
So merged with National University, which is still a well-known, very well-known university. And that's why I got my PhD in is IO Psychology, which is, again, the study of human behavior in the workplace. And that it's still quote unquote new, but not new. Yeah, it is the latest psychology next to positive psychology in the APA realm. So APA is the American Psychological Association, and it is approved psychology. So here's the thing: I can call myself a psychologist, but however, I have to say, when I say psychologist in the state of Florida, I have to say IO psychologist. Some states don't allow you to say that because you have to get a clinical license. We are not clinical. So IO psychologists, we do not diagnose human behavior problems. We diagnose the human behavior work trend problems and human behavior things that are at work, right? So if you have a psychological issue, something going on, mental, I cannot diagnose that. Right. If it's at work, and why this behavior is happening at work related to work realms, I can diagnose that. So that's the difference between the two. So no, I don't have well, you come sit on my couch. I can't. Right. And the beautiful thing about IO Psychology, Rochelle, is it has 26 specialization areas. And so a lot of those areas to say, so let me back up. Any IO psychologist at one time will focus on 3 to 5 specialization areas. So my areas are coaching, training and development, leadership, workplace harmony, and wellness. Those are my areas. And some folks are compensation, some folks are training and development, some folks are legal issues, some folks are union issues, some folks are HR law. So a lot of IO psychologists do sit in the HR department. So like example, Google has a whole department for IO psychologists. Some companies have separate departments for IO psychologists. Some companies don't. If you're a smaller company, that IO psychologist will sit inside of HR. Some companies don't even have IO psychologists.
Right.
The beautiful thing about it is you're practicing IO psychology every day. These things you're doing every day. So I love to break it down. Here's the difference between the two. So IO psychology and HR. I love to say the compensation piece, right? So HR, they're going to pay you. That's who's going to give you your paycheck. That's who's going to give you your benefits. Hey Karen, they are is it Karen?
Yes, it's Karen. Yes.
Karen, beautiful, beautiful. They're going to pay you. What we do, we, the IO psychology, we understand the behavior behind that pay, that trend of where they got that pay cycle from. We study all of that, right? So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful field. And so I'm driving down the road one day. I said, well, how are kids going to learn about this? How are teenagers going to learn the behavior of the working in the workplace? Ding, 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 ding. IO for Teens was born. So that was August of 2022. I come with this nonprofit. And here's what's funny, Rochelle. I said that I would never do a nonprofit because there's too much damn work.
Yeah, you're right.
I said I would never do a nonprofit, but here I am. When something's on your heart, you know, and I'm not gonna say we're pushing through. I mean, we're not in goodwill status, you know, we're not the Salvation Army status, you know, but we're pushing through. So please go to ioforteens.org, sign up for our $25 a month donation program. We'll send you out a cute little baggie.
There you go.
We need all the help we can get. ioforteens.org. But what we're doing is we partner with a local nonprofit here in Jacksonville, Teen Leaders of America, Marcia Brown, awesome human being. Shout out to Marcia and Teen Leaders of America. The work she's doing is just phenomenal. And I found out about her because my son, who was 14, 15 at the time, was in her program. So I partnered with her. We're in a local school here. She is my Hey, Leslie, we gotta talk, girl. We gotta talk.
She's in Florida too. So yes, y'all gonna need to meet.
Yes. So we're partnering with them, and we're in the process right now working on a new program. I have a vending event coming up next month. So we're just pushing. We are. It's what my goal is right now, Rochelle, for the nonprofit is because I am I'm back to working a full-time job, and we haven't even got to that yet. Oh my, so much. How long is the show? We don't have time.
No, we got time. Yeah, we just want to hear. This is all so interesting to me.
My story is really dynamic.
Yeah, it is.
But we like I said, we have everything going with the nonprofit. We're pushing through. And where was I? I was saying, where was I going? I was saying, because I really wanted to say it. What I was about to say, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going somewhere with it. Okay, well, anyway, so it's the nonprofit. I was pushing somewhere with it.
I'm trying to recall.
I was talking about the job. That's it. I started at 9 to 5. I started at 9 to 5. Which we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And so my goal right now is to find someone, because I'm the visionary, right? I need someone that can come in and do this logistics stuff that I can step back. I'm not going to be on the board. I need an executive director. So I need a volunteer that can be an executive director. And then once we get that big grant, I'm trying to apply for multiple grants, then we can pay you, right? So I need someone to execute my vision. That's the part, because it's hard trying to run a nonprofit, write books, go to my new job that I'm at, that I love to pieces, and still have a life, right? Still live life, because if anyone knows Marla, they know Marla's going to live her life. Yeah. And so, so that's where I'm at right now, is trying to find that voluntary role for executive director to come in and just kind of just help me along the way. We did our 5-year vision, 5-year strategic plan, and we're just trying to push through with that. But I have an awesome board. I those who helped me found it, my original folks, awesome. So again, we're just trying to push through with that piece. But it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. I'm just so curious as to how you even find the time to get all this stuff done. I thought I was a busy person. Now, if anybody was to look at my schedule and look at what I'm doing, they'd be like, dang, but girl, you got us all beat. I'm like, okay, Where do
What's
you
crazy,
have the time?
what's crazy about it is, Rochelle, and that's all been a part of the coping mechanism. That's all been part of the coping mechanism is being addicted to learning, being addicted to doing things. It has allowed me to not address pains in my life.
Yeah.
But now through therapy, if you've never been to therapy or you think you don't need it, go to therapy. I'm still in therapy to this day. I love my therapist. She's amazing. But I'm seeing that I don't have to be everything to everyone. I don't have to be that. I can just be who I am. And I went through a huge transition. So kind of getting into my current life now, with 2023 was probably one of the most transitional years of my life. So not only am I still promoting this book, I started the process with this book. We'll talk about this one here in a little bit.
Yeah.
And started the process with this book in 2023. I'm actually I'm a co-author on this book right here. See name right there. The name right there. Yep.
Yep, girl.
Yep. So co-author this book. This is the book I'm promoting now. But getting to that transition piece was, I was working for a major hospital here in the States, and I was HR director at that hospital. And one of the HR directors, we had many, one of the HR directors, awesome place for your care, but not a great place to work for African Americans. And that's what I discovered. Educated African, let me say that, educated African American women. And I'm going to be bold and say this. I'm going to say, when you're African American woman working in corporate, you need allies. You need white allies. Mm-hmm. And so when my white ally left the organization, because I don't blame her, she should have left. I don't blame her. When she left, that's when the shit hit the fan for me. Mm-hmm. And things just went down. As long as I was not a leader in the organization, things were fine. When I became a leader and my manager left, things just went down the drain. And it got to the point to where I was just talking to somebody today about this. Oh God, when it got to the point to where I am crying every day, waking up, trying to put on this smile for my team, and having suicidal ideations, which a lot of people don't know that. It just, I couldn't take it anymore. A 6-figure salary isn't worth that to me. It isn't worth that to me. So I abruptly left. I left in June of last year, and it was not part of my plan. If you would have asked me last, the January beforehand, would I be leaving my job? No, I planned on staying there for a while because I wanted to grow. I mean, there were so many ample opportunities, and I took advantage of a lot of those opportunities. But it's got to the point to where it was affecting my PTSD really bad. I couldn't take it anymore. So I left for mental health purposes. That's why I left. And so I said, I'm just going to run my businesses full time. Yeah. And it was, I'm not going to say I sugarcoat it. It was a struggle because I went from this 6-figure salary to not a 6-figure salary. Oh yeah. So I had a 6-figure salary life, and I went from that to not having a 6-figure salary life. And, but it's amazing how the universe and God and life, whatever you believe in, I'm not super religious, but it's amazing how you just believe in things. And I'm huge on the law of attraction and how you put things out into the universe and things come back. And God knows I've put some stuff out into the universe, some great things out into the universe. And that's why I go back to my support team. I've had the most amazing support people in my life, from the people who were helping me with my website guy. He's like, he said, don't worry, Marla. I told him I couldn't pay you. I don't have the money to pay you. He's like, don't worry, I got you. Don't worry about it. He ran my websites, kept them going. My young lady who was helping me with I had my online academy going for a little bit. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm just like, it was overwhelming. And then through the midst of that, through all of that, my beautiful daughter-in-law lost her mother. That sent her into early labor. They had to come live it with me. So I had my grandbaby with me. All this stuff happened in the matter of 6 months. Wow. And I said, okay, this is a lot. It was a lot. And I still kept smiling, still kept pushing forward. And then I saw this advertisement on Facebook one day. it said the Florida Department of Corrections was hiring for academic teachers. I said, oh, okay, I'm just gonna apply for it. I didn't think anything about it. I just applied for it and left it alone because all my ultimate goal was to be a professor. So I applied for to be a professor at SNHU. I wound up getting that job. So I'm a current professor, adjunct professor at Southern New Hampshire University, waiting to class up with that in IO psychology. But then they called me and I'm like, oh, y'all were serious. So I am a academic teacher for one of the local prisons here in Florida, in Jacksonville. Well, they have 4 regions, so I'm in region 2. And I can tell, if you asked me last year, would I be a teacher at a prison, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. Okay.
Oh, I know.
Okay. But it is probably the most rewarding job ever, because at the end of the day, regardless of what they have done, they are human beings.
Yeah.
And they deserve an education just like anybody else does. You know, their punishment is being in prison, and some of them shouldn't be in there. I'm gonna leave that conversation right there with a period. So some of them shouldn't be in there. But so the Innocence Project stuff is real. It's real.
Yeah.
But we're gonna leave that right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very rewarding. I love it. Been there 2 months. So here I am now working at a prison, still publishing books, because this one came out. The story in this book came out. And working on my next book, working on a couple more books. I've also published a poem. And so my poem, oh my gosh, I love to take a step on the wild side, right? And I said, you know what? Why not? Why can't I publish a poem? Hell, if Steve Harvey can have bacon, I can publish a poem, you know? So I'm going to publish a poem.
Hello.
So I published a poem, and it's called I Cried Again Today. And when I first read it to my therapist, she started crying.
Do you have it with you?
I actually do. I can run and go get it. It's in my room. I can run.
Yeah, we would love to hear that.
Yes,
audience.
Give me 3 seconds. Let me run across.
Okay, yes. Hold on, y'all, while she goes and gets that poem, because I feel like that's something that can encourage and inspire us even more, as if she hasn't already done that for us. But I always like to hear other people's expression, especially through writing. And a poem, I have several poems that I've been given over my years of service that just give me more life every time I read them, because you're in a different season, you may be in a different part of your life. So yeah, so back over to you, Marla.
Yeah, so it's a women's writing group here called Women Writing for Change. It's about writing for justice and things you believe in. So she publishes an anthology every year. So this one's called What Must We Do? As you can see the cover there, beautiful cover. And so let me get to mine here. It's called I Cried Today Again. Okay, every time I read it, my heart just, yeah. I cried today and yesterday. Black woman weary, facing disarray. Exhausted from the weight I carry each day. Resilient, I carry it, come what may. Tears flow not only for my sorrow, but the endless struggles endured, a history hard to swallow. Tales of our resistance, hope for a better tomorrow. I cry for the beauty of my soul, for the strength that keeps me whole. In a world of racial strife, when will we see peace unfold? Each tear a testament to battles fought, justice denied, and freedom sought. Battles bear witness to the weariness we can conceal. We are so tired of being strong. This pain is real. So let the tears flow, evidence of my strife, but also a symbol of my affirmation of life. In each drop, a message loud and clear. A Black woman's strength can conquer her fear.
I can't snap really well, but oh my goodness.
Oh,
Lord. That is so beautiful.
Yeah. And I wrote one version of it on Medium, then I rewrote it again for this anthology. And because based off of the things I've gone through since that time frame. And
Let's
say I'm done. Amazing.
Oh,
say I'm done.
Chevy's in the house, and she says yes, and she
Hey, Miss
loves
Chevy,
that.
I'm done. Yeah,
Snapping and
I wrote that based
scrolling.
off of this, just my experiences of what I've gone through, and I'm just like, it's such a struggle, you know. I'm like, I don't want to struggle just because I'm a Black educated woman. Why do I need to prove this to you? Why do I have to prove my education to you? I got the damn degree. What do I need to
Yeah.
prove to you? What do I need to do? And it's just exhausting. It is exhausting, and I get so tired of it. I'm not saying it's not in present today, you know, but that was that exhaustion is what led to me leaving that last job. And so this job, I have much more peace. I'm not saying that everything's perfect, but I
Yeah.
have much more peace.
Yeah.
And I'm able to move forward and focus on things that mean more to me, such as coaching, such as teaching, training, writing. I want to be a best-selling author. I mean, well, I'm Amazon best-selling author, but just get more books out there in the world, you know. And I always look to say Brene Brown. Brene Brown is a professor. She's a teacher. She's an author. She's doing all the things, you know.
Yeah.
But that's who I say I want to be, a Marla.
Yeah.
You know, a Marla Brene Brown, you know, but Marla,
Yeah.
the Marla version, you know. And speaking, I spoke at my first conference last year. I'm going back to that same conference again this year. I want to speak more on my research. Oh, and that's what I forgot to tell you guys, my dissertation research. So my dissertation research was, because you know I gotta talk about us,
That's
right?
right.
So I examined the educational effects of post-secondary educational levels. So anything bachelor's degree and lower, bachelor's degree, associate's degree, high school diploma, and GED. What are those effects on job crafting and workplace autonomy for marginalized individuals? And the two groups of marginalized individuals I studied were Black African American women. I'm sorry, we have to say it correctly. Black African American and Latinx individuals who identify as women, because when you're in academics, you have to say things a certain way. So, and so I wound up getting a survey of 369 women. And the thing was, my hypothesis was that education levels would have an effect on job crafting. Job crafting is where you get to shape how your roles are in the workplace. There's three types of job crafting: relational, cognitive, and and task oriented. And so I thought that education levels would have an effect on that. What comes back, I did a statistical study, I did a quantitative study, and there was no statistical significance on educational levels having those effects on job crafting and workplace autonomy. So that tells us a couple things. It tells us, one, that companies aren't paying attention to it, that these women are just doing whatever they want to do and they don't see them, which is probably that's what it is. And also it also tells us too that women don't see themselves either. So in my dissertation, I speak about that and talk about the different things that companies can do to enhance job crafting and workplace, because you need autonomy to be able to job craft. If you don't have autonomy, I can't job craft. So now don't get me wrong. Studies have also shown us that those who have bachelor's degrees and doctorate degrees are in higher positions, quote unquote, they do have a little more autonomy, obviously. However, here's the kicker to my study. I did not pick. My only requirement was, as far as working was concerned, was as long as they worked a 9-to-5 job in ages 18 to 79. That was it. So I don't know what their titles were. So they could have been a bachelor's, they could have had a bachelor's degree, and they could have been a supervisor for all I know. But the statistics say, the quantitative study says that education has no impact. So that's why when you do research, right, it leaves gaps. So I need to find out more about it. Maybe I need to study those who do have titles and see how it works out. I need to study LGBTQIA plus. I need to study men. I need to study, I could go deeper into it to see what happens with it. But it's a very interesting study, and to see that that this education level had no impact at all on job crafting and autonomy. It's just mind blowing. Just like I said, just tells me that I don't think these women are seen. That's what it tells me, in my personal opinion. Right.
And do you think that, because there's many of us that are in this space that always have looked at, the mentorship and the development of those that look like us, that were younger, And I know in my military service, I was always looking to see how I could bring them in and show them what I was doing, so that way they could learn from that. So, you know, I have seen though those once people get to, and I say Black women, once we get to certain roles, that some Black women, they don't want to bring the younger women in to show them the way, if you will, because they're trying to preserve themselves and their position for where they're at, and they don't want, you know, anything to be affected. So I've seen a lot of different scenarios and factors that have been played into, you know, this, the woman not being seen, or you know, women not really given opportunities to be in those specialized or those highly coveted leadership roles.
Yes. No, it's funny you bring that up, because it's okay. Oh, thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you were able to join us.
Me too.
Please go out to the Amazon, check out the books. If you want this particular book with the study, just email me. I'll drop my email, and I guess I can. It's going to be the links, the show links or whatever. But just email me. This one I can mail directly to you. That way I can get the proceeds for that one. Don't buy this one on Amazon. You can buy this one on Amazon, but don't buy this one on Amazon. All right. And then check out the nonprofits, but io14s.org. But yeah, so back to what you were saying. No, yeah, I have seen that. And I've always been that person. That's why she told me to take my cape off. My therapist told me to take the cape off, because I have seen that where I've seen it both hands, where one side I want to bring in so many, and the other side, like, you know.
Exactly.
I've seen it on both. And my thing is this: you are not where you are by yourself. Nobody is self-made. I hate when they say self-made millionaire. No, you're not. You have a team. Now, maybe your idea now. Let's not get it twisted.
Right.
But you need somebody to help you execute that.
Right.
You need that. Yes. Contact is TruthSpeakCoaching. Yes. Email me. And I'll be more than happy to send this book out to you, autographed. This book is $25 with shipping. But no, I have seen it on both sides, Michelle. I've seen it on both sides. And me, I'm the type, and I think, you know, I don't want to get too psychological here, but I am a psychologist, and it's mindset. When you don't want to bring someone along with you, that's fear-based.
Yeah.
You know? The sky is big enough.
Chevy's saying the same thing. She said some people are so threatened by others coming in. I mean, that's just, you know, what it is.
Right. It's just like the sky is big enough. Seriously, we all fit under the same sky. So if that's the case, then we all there's no lack, right? There's no lack in money. There's no lack in books. There's no lack in audience. There's no lack. You know, so do what you want to do. Have fun. Live life. Do things. But we get so threatened by what the other person is doing. I could care less. And that's one thing I'm learning this year is to, excuse my French, but I'm gonna say a word. I'm being careful where I put my fucks this year. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right? You know, at the end of your days, are you gonna be looking back, you know what, she didn't get that promotion that I mean, she got the promotion that I didn't get. Are you gonna care?
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
I just came from my uncle's funeral, and I'll tell you what, that's not anything they talked about. You know, when we talk about eulogies and, you know, what you want people to remember you by and all those other things, you know, they don't talk about promotions at work or anything like that. They talking about the impact that you make in other people's lives and in the world. All right. That's what they go to. Yeah. So that's why that's all that matters. And again, whether or not you're doing it for free, whether or not you're doing for a little bit of monies or for bigger money, at the end of the day, if it does not, for me, and I'm speaking for me, if it does not bring me peace, joy, happiness, and goodwill towards others, I don't want it.
Right. And that's my thing, peace.
You know, I don't want it.
Give me peace. And like I say, my current job, I have peace. Even though I'm teaching inmates. I don't even like calling them that. They're my students. Yeah. You know, I'm teaching students, you know, I'm teaching GED. I would have never, ever thought that, but it brings me so much peace and joy. The salary is nowhere near what I was making, but it's somehow you make it. Somehow oh, see, Chevy, I'm with you. Yeah, exactly. You gotta tell you, stress is real. Stress is the foundation of everything. Stress is the foundation of cancer. It's the foundation of headaches. It's the foundation of body pain. It's the foundation of weight gain and weight loss. So it's real. It's real. And I'm not here to sit here and say I'm the have perfected it all. I'm up and down with weight, up and down. But you got to learn they love you, accept you. What other people have to say, if they don't have anything positive to say, that's their problem, not mine. Your words don't affect me. It's okay. It really is okay. I'm sorry you feel that way about me. I have nothing to do with that.
Right. Well, Marla, we at the top of the hour, and I'll tell you what, you've given these wonderful, amazing peoples that come here every single day, you've given them so much value and given them so much it's just so enriching to hear all the amazing things that you are doing.
Thank you.
And living the life, because life is lifing always.
Yeah.
Right. And even in the midst, you are still doing.
Yeah. Oh, and let me correct that. 22 cruises. I've been on 22 cruises. And 23 is in October for my cousin's birthday cruise.
Girl, I'm just saying, you are doing the most. We are going to forever be grateful for you. I know people are going to be coming back to this show and coming back and just wanting to hear more and more about, what you're doing. Even Leslie says, amen. Thank God for your dedication. Thank you for your dedication.
Thank
to
you so
everything
much for
you're
having
doing.
me. This is amazing.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you for having me, giving me the platform. This is why I love to give others a platform. If we could just imagine if we all did this, how powerful this world would be. But we're getting there. We're learning slowly.
We're getting there. I think more and more people have an appetite to show folks.
Yeah,
it's okay to invite people into your space.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
We're all under the same sky. We fit. You fit too. You fit. I fit. we all fit.
Yeah, we're all fitting in here,
it's okay.
And this, your study, your research behind, what people do in the workplace. That's always fascinating to hear. Dr. Beckwith said, this has been a great way to spend my Sunday night. Thank you so much, Rochelle and Dr. Marla. I look forward to purchasing your book.
This book, reach out to me now. Reach out to me for this one. Even if you want to inbox me on, because a lot of folks inbox me on Facebook. I'm Marla J. Albertie. Find me on Facebook. I will respond to you. I'm also on LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn, Marla J. Albertie. And inbox me for this one. And this one, like I said, you can get on. The other two you can get on Amazon. But if you want this one too, I can mail this one to you too. I get more money.
Look at
you. More money if you come to me. Amazon takes a lot of money. Okay, I'm real. I'm just letting you know. Okay.
Girl, I'm about to copy all your things on here and just plop it in the so that way they can have it. So y'all, like she said, we will find you, but I'm just gonna plop them in here. And hopefully, so Dr. Beckwith said, yeah, I'll find you. But these are all her handles.
Yes.
On LinkedIn. Look at the spelling of the name, Albertie. So I always remember Albertie. Yes. So if you want to reach out to her, connect it. Okay, you got folks connecting to you on LinkedIn already.
I will connect with you.
And and we know, push comes to shove, they'll find me and they know how to get a hold of me, and I will push them to you. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight and sharing all your insights and wisdom. So the last question of the evening is, what will your legacy be, my queen?
Oh my gosh, such a loaded question, Rochelle.
I know, but you know what? It's got to be asked.
My impact and my passion. The impact. If you can just remember the impact that I had on your life, the impact that I have on my own life that people can model after, then that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
The good that I've done, the open-mindedness I have, the non-judgmental way I do things.
Yeah.
Just the impact.
Yeah. Well, you're already doing it. So,
yeah.
As I always say here on the show, this is the end of the show. Thank you so much for being here live with us. I knew you had 1,001 other things you could be, places to go, but you decided to be with us tonight.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. If you come back, put in hashtag replay so that I know that you came back. And if you'd like, go ahead and share. Sharing is caring. Okay. And so have a lot of information throughout this episode. So share this out. And as we know, this is we're going to be back here again next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Slate of Success Talk Show. And I'm also going to be here on Tuesday. So Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be back for the Rise in Morning Talk Show. So keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Love you. Bye.